So here's how they went about it. When Uche was having his conversation with Aaliyah about his relationship with Lydia, he purposely undershared to minimize that relationship. When Lydia was having her conversation with Aaliyah, she purposely overshared in order to maximize her relationship with Uche in Aaliyah's eyes. But then when Lydia went to Milton, what did she do? She undershared. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. So as we all know, after that huge bombshell dropped about Uche and Lydia having a relationship prior to coming on the show, everyone had questions in regards to production knowing about this relationship, when they knew about this relationship, and if they instructed both Uche and Lydia to keep this relationship under wraps. So a couple of days ago, one of the Love is Blind showrunners did an interview with People magazine to spill all the tea. So this interview definitely gives us a bit of insight into what happened, but Uche and Lydia, y'all still not in the clear. So let's get into it. But before we do, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, because as you know, the new episodes for Love is Blind Season 5 drop tomorrow, and my video will be up, and you do not want to miss it. Also, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but we're about to hit 4,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's get into this article. Love is Blind creator on that jaw-dropping reveal, what they knew and when they knew it. This is an exclusive, honey, okay? So People magazine did an interview with Chris Colin. You know, you see his name come up at the end of every episode, okay? So he's a top dog on the show. So People asks, first things first, how did Lydia and Uche manage to both get on cast? Is there a vetting process to ensure exes aren't cast on the same season, right? Because we trying to find out what's going on. So Chris responds, absolutely, yeah, 100%. We do a very thorough vetting process across all kinds of criteria. We really go to some great lengths, and to the best of our ability, we try to ensure that the pool of people in the pods don't know each other. Obviously, we're not infallible, and this one happened. However it happened, and we had to deal with the ramifications of it. People asked, so you truly didn't know that they were exes? Because People is like, we don't believe you. People don't believe you, Chris. So Chris responds, he said, we had absolutely no idea. The intention is that we have a pool of people that don't know each other. We have had a few instances in the past with people on the same side, like two women who knew each other a little bit, but we haven't had people, to my knowledge, on the other side of the pod that knew each other. And we never had, to my knowledge, people who have had a relationship in the past. It's just mind-blowing that that was the case, and truly shocking on day one that information was delivered to me. Okay, so production knew day one. People asked what exactly went down on the day production discovered Uche and Lydia previously dated. Chris responds, I was sitting in the control room on day one of dating. I think we have 89 cameras in the pods, and there's a lot of stuff happening. We have a big team of hundreds of crew members, and there's always somebody listening to something. Whoever was listening into Uche and Lydia's conversation, as soon as the date was coming to an end, they came over and said, these two people know each other. They had a relationship previously. We immediately stopped them, pulled them aside, prevented them from going back into the mix in the pods, and brought them to separate interview rooms. We said to them first, I don't know how this happened. This is awful. I know you've planned to be here and you've gone through this whole process and now you know each other. I don't know how we can continue with you in this experiment, and I know that sucks. They're like, you mean you're gonna send us home? We said, I don't know how you can continue. And they're like, we want to continue. Again, these are separate conversations. It sounded like they was in the same room, but okay, Chrissy. Again, these are separate conversations, but basically they're saying the same thing. We want to continue and we want to be here. And we're really serious. Each of them said, we have no interest in dating the other one. Are they sure about that? Because didn't we see in the episode, Lydia was like, oh, maybe we can try from scratch, huh? Okay. Chris goes on to say both of them spoke very glowingly of the other. Both of them said it was kind of an on and off, but no interest in moving forward. We really want to find somebody that's committed to this. So we said, we as in production, if we were to allow you to continue being part of this experiment, knowing that you are really passionate about being here, we will allow you to continue under one condition. We never police what anybody says, but in this case, it was the only time where we've said we would like if you would not reveal this to the others, okay? So it's confirmed that Uche and Lydia were both instructed to not discuss their previous relationship while on their dates in the pods with the other contestants. Then People posed the question, were there any other parts to that agreement? Chris responds and says, it was A, you're never going to interact in the pods again because you say you have no interest. And B, we would like if you just focus your time and attention on the other people who you may connect with and put the thought of one another to the side. And don't be telling people that you dated or that you know each other because that's not fair to you, it's not fair to one another, and it's not fair to the rest of the participants who might be developing connections with other people. Chris said, they said that makes sense, you're right, and we'll do that. So then people ask, given this, why were they able to disclose their relationship to Aaliyah and Milton in the pods? Chris says around day 6 or 7 in the pods, we saw that they really had developed real feelings for another person and they were really getting deeply into those connections. At that point, a lot of people started zeroing in on who their people were, if they were lucky enough to have found them. We went to Uche and Lydia each separately and we told them, we don't want you to walk out of here, whether you make the choice to get engaged, not get engaged, if you propose, whether it's accepted, not accepted, however you walk out of here, if you're interested in someone, we give you our full blessing to reveal that you've dated in the past if you want to, okay? You don't have to say that, and how you say that and to whom you say that is completely up to you. We said the same thing to both of them, and you see the results on the show. Okay, so let me say this. So there was a lot of discussion in regards to why Uche wasn't upfront with Aaliyah about dating Lydia, right? And a lot of people said it's because production told them not to speak about it. So that's been confirmed. However, when they both got the green light to discuss their previous relationship with the person who they were serious about, both Uche and Lydia chose to do that in different ways. And I'm going to break that down to you, okay? In Uche's initial conversation with Aaliyah, he told her that he did have a previous relationship with Lydia, but he left out a major part of that relationship. So Uche undershared. This is Uche, the lawyer, okay? The person who, when you're telling your business, he wants each and every detail about it. But when it's time for him to tell his business, he gonna leave some parts out. And don't you dare think that he left that part out by accident. Don't you think that he forgot to include that part. Don't you think that it's automatically assumed that if he said he's dating someone, that also means that he knows that you know that that means that he's also sleeping with that person? Because the way that he reacted once Aaliyah revealed that she knew that part of the information, his reaction alone shows that he knew that that piece of information made a difference. His reaction alone also shows that he probably wasn't going to volunteer that information anytime soon because, again, he went from super chill, laid back and relaxed to, oh shit. So it appears that even though Uche was aware that both him and Lydia had the green light to discuss their previous relationship, I don't think that he thought that Lydia was going to give all of the details. You get what I'm saying? Because mind you, this is Uche and Aaliyah's second conversation. So even in the first conversation, she's telling Uche how close she is to Lydia.
Like she's my friend.
She'll be one of the most incredible friends you'll ever have.
She's telling Uche that this lady can be the auntie to her kids, which is crazy in itself. Aaliyah, no. And even after understanding how close Lydia and Aaliyah were, he still chose to remain tight-lipped about him and Lydia being intimate just 3 months ago. And for the people who think, well, he probably would have told her eventually. When? After Aaliyah's love for both him and Lydia grew stronger and stronger? Is that when he was going to tell her? So I never thought I'd be saying this, but thank you, Lydia, for spilling the tea, okay? So here's how they went about it. When Uche was having his conversation with Aaliyah about his relationship with Lydia, he purposely undershared to minimize that relationship. When Lydia was having her conversation with Aaliyah, she overshared. She overshared. Even after Aaliyah asked her not to give her all the details, she purposely overshared in order to maximize her relationship with Uche in Aaliyah's eyes, right? But then when Lydia went to Milton to give him the details about her previous relationship with Uche, what did she do? She undershared so that she can minimize the relationship with Uche, so that she can minimize her feelings for Uche. And then to top it off, she made jokes about it. So as we can see, after getting the okay from production, both Uche and Lydia went about disclosing the info in the way that would best serve them, depending on who they were speaking to. Another thing, a lot of people think that Lydia somehow found out that Uche was going to be on this show and she followed him on this show. Now, I definitely would not put that past her, and clearly People magazine was thinking the same thing because they asked this. Do you think Lydia and Uche secretly knew that the other was participating on the show? And Chris responds and says, I honestly don't know whether Lydia knew that Uche was going to be there or Uche knew that Lydia was was going to be there, or they both knew about each other and conspired together. Because that's a possibility too. You never know. I have no idea. I know pretty much everything they said plays out on the show, but I don't know the truth. And I'm not an investigator, so it's not really worthwhile for me to go back and forensically analyze what happened and where. All I know is it was really shocking. And before we found a solution to keep them on the show, it was disappointing and disheartening. And like, oh my God, this is awful, because you take two people who you really like and you sort of have to take them out of the mix. Then they also asked Chris, how did he feel about seeing Lydia and Aaliyah build such a tight bond? Meanwhile, Lydia already knew the secret that she was keeping from Aaliyah. And Chris pretty much says that there were 89 cameras. His main focus was pretty much what was going on in the pods. He really wasn't paying attention to the cameras in the quarters. And I'm like, okay, Chris, well, go phone a friend and get somebody on the line who was looking at the cameras in the quarters, because we want to know. But next, people asked Chris about how Aaliyah actually left the experiment. So Chris says, we always commit to the same process with regard to the men and the women. We always tell them from the very first moment that we will never, ever, ever communicate a message from one person to the other person. It's their responsibility to tell each other how they feel or not. We will never say so-and-so is feeling this way about you. The only thing that we will ever say is that so-and-so wants to see you. Are you interested now? In the case of Uche and Aaliyah, it was very clear that they had wanted to go see each other in that moment where Uche was thinking he was going to propose, because they had talked about seeing each other. Then Aaliyah, very much to everyone's surprise, decided to leave. We set the date for them. We weren't going to come in and relay a message from Aaliyah. Frankly, I don't even know if Aaliyah had her thoughts fully composed at that point. Aaliyah just said she wanted to leave, she wanted to go home, and that was it.
Period, Aaliyah, okay?
So that's pretty much it. Yes, production confirmed that they told them to shut the hell up about their previous relationship until it was okay. And when they both got the okay, they each decided to share the information that they wanted to share in the way that they wanted to share it, depending on who they were speaking to, okay? So tell me your thoughts below. Do you believe production that they didn't know, or do you think that they cast both Uche and Lydia purposely with full knowledge that they were in a relationship previously? Or do you think that production had no idea at all? Or do you think that Lydia followed Uche, or maybe Uche followed Lydia? Or do you think that they're probably conspiring together and they're scamming us all? Whatever you think, let me know below. We are getting way more comments on these videos, so everybody keep it cute, keep it respectful, okay? Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, because the new episodes are coming out tomorrow. If you haven't caught my previous videos, go back and watch those so that you're all caught up, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna